Now you actually split up and we talk about target setting. There are 4 different groups and you work in your group. Group A is an industry average, history. It's an actual history. Nicole did the analysis. Group B is a company. Group C is another industry average. And Group D is a company. One takes the role of the CEO and one takes the role of the board. And you have to negotiate a target. It's really hard to negotiate a target. It takes a lot of work.
Try this exercise yourself. You have here the charts that we showed to the group for group A, B, C, and D. And, think about what target you would set. Let's pick group A, setting a target here for group A. You can see that in year 13, they had a growth rate of 14.8. In the current year, it's minus 4.5. So it must be somewhere in between. Maybe we pick, 6%, as something in between those numbers, a little bit on the lower end. But if you look at the historic years, the year 8, 9, and 10, it was around 6%. So this seems to be not a bad level if you have this industry information as your guide. If you're group B, you could come to the conclusion that 6% might actually be a little high. Only 2 years, year 14 and year 3 reached this target of 6%. In the year 13, it was higher than 6%. Other years, it's lower. So maybe more a target around 4% is correct. We have the year 9 and 10 where the company achieved 4.3% growth, 4.7% growth. So this seems to be like a logical performance target for that year. Now try to do that yourself. Try to think by looking at these graphs what the target would be that you would set for the company based on either industry information, which is group A and C, or on company historic information, which is group B and D. Afterwards, I will show you what the class said, what the numbers were that the class came up, that they used for a target in their compensation plan. And then you can compare your target that you're setting with the targets of them. So do it and come up with your number, and let's see how your number compares to the others.
And I'm now really curious to see what the result is of your target compared to the history. Very good. Ooh, I'm really relieved. The median was 1.9 for the group A, and you were negotiated a median target of 4.3. For group B, it was 0.3 was the median. You negotiated 5.5 median. And group D, you had a median of 1.1 and you negotiated a target of 3%. The percentile rank of your target is down here. So group A set the target in the 75th percentile rank of the history. Group B did it in the 84th percentile rank, thank you to the 10%, which I think, by the way, is the most realistic. Nobody will do a 3% target in a corporate environment. I must say, nobody does a 1%, even though it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. That would have been a median performance, roughly. But you cannot do it. Basically, it's just impossible. You have to set a growth target at least at 5%. And the last group also had a percentile rank of 79%, which means you only have a 20% chance to reach your target. And this is an important message. It happens in every corporation. They're all overconfident. They look at the history and they don't do what they have to do, take the median of the past. It's the only rational thing to do, and have a reason why you deviate from the median. But we cannot do it. And even if somebody does it, like you, because you may have read Daniel Kahneman, even if you do it, you would never be able in a corporate environment to get that through. Because if you have a 1% growth target, you would probably have to set your floor at minus 10% or minus 20, to be kind of more or less reliable. It's virtually impossible to do a growth-based compensation plan that works well, because you cannot say minus growth is still a good performance. And you cannot say that your maximum is reached at 20-30% growth, which you would have to do in order to cover the volatility that actually exists in growth numbers.